teaches the crucified life. It's very rare to find people who want to crucify themselves daily to follow Christ. And now I found a church that wants to do so. And I praise God for that. So one of the things also that I was praying, Lord, what do you want me to say? So He gave me something to say. So last week, the pastor said she was struggling. And I believe that just because the signs of the times are indicating, as Michelle was telling us, that Christ is coming soon. And when Christ comes, I don't think He's coming for a church that is dressed in rags. He's coming for a perfect church. He's coming for a church that reflects His glory, reflects His goodness. And that's what the crucified life is about. Each of us crucifies ourselves daily, and then we live the life that Christ lived before. Remember that that Paul said, he wrote, "It is no longer I that liveth, but Christ lives in me." And even Jesus said that greater things you will do because I go to the Father. And the Spirit will live in you, and you will become like me. The thing is, when I look down at myself, I don't see that. And I don't think a lot of us will be able to say that. And I think that's what worries the pastor. Is that when we look at ourselves, we see the worms we are. We see how dirty we are. And we're not walking the righteousness of God that Jesus walked. Far from it, right? So, one of the things that, well, my wife and I before, when we were in our churches, we had the prophetic gift. And we tend to do the Hale and Brimstone teachings that say, if we don't become perfect, we won't see Christ when He comes. Which is actually true, but I won't emphasize on that now. What I'm going to read to you is I'm going to read you something from Ephesians. This is Ephesians 4:11-13 from the Passion Translation. He said, He has appointed some with grace to be apostles, some with grace to be prophets, some with grace to be evangelists, and some with grace to be pastors, and some with grace to be teachers. And their calling is to nurture and prepare all the holy believers to do their own work of ministry. And as they do this, they will enlarge and build the body of Christ. These grace ministries will function until we all attain oneness into the faith, until we all experience the fullness of what it means to know the Son of God. And finally, we become one into a perfect man with the full dimensions of spiritual maturity and fully developed into the abundance of Christ. In the New King James Version, the last part says, the measure that we grow into the measure of the stature of the fullness of Christ. That's the function of the fivefold ministry. We become like Christ. And that's what this church is teaching. We should become like Christ. So these people, the fivefold ministry, they're actually a symbolism of the Old Testament priests. When God called Moses and the Israelites out of Egypt, and then they went into the promised land, they built a tabernacle. And initially there were 5 priests, Aaron and his 4 sons. And they were given trumpets. What was the function of the trumpets? They were to blow the trumpet to form an assembly. They were to blow the trumpet to sound an alarm. And when the trumpet of alarm is sounded, the people assemble. They come together and prepare for war. And that's what the fivefold ministry is doing now. We're blowing the trumpet and we are coming together. But let us also remember that every time they come before these prophets for war, the prophets say, "Fear not, the Lord will fight for you." It's not them. They don't fight the battle. Read through the Bible, read through the Old Testament, you will find out that the Lord did most of the fighting for Israel. There will be words that will say that more died from hailstones than from how the people fought. More died, the enemy killed each other because the Lord routed them. Israel did not fight their wars, the Lord did. And that is the message I'd like to share also this morning, is that the Lord will perfect us. All we have to do is listen and prepare and be there when the Lord calls, because He will perfect us. He is the one who will. He is the author and finisher of our faith. It is not by our might nor by our power, but by God's Spirit that we will be able to become perfect. So fear not, the Lord is with you, and He will perfect us all.